Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, April 10th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I take the time to nurture what I can. And taking the time, utilizing whatever energy you do have to nurture today will benefit you so much. I always like to look at the astro for the week ahead on a Monday, so let's take a quick peek. So today, or early tomorrow, we're going to have Venus shifting signs. Venus is going to be moving out of the sign of Taurus and into the sign of Gemini. This means we have Venus at 29 Taurus for most of Monday. And along with nurturing, you may find yourself wanting the delicious foods or the delicious drinks. You may find yourself spending a little bit more money, leaning hopefully into the feeling of abundance. Pleasure seeking. Venus in Taurus is so pleasure seeking. And I encourage you in balance to lean into this energy and nurture that, nourish that, because that'll just support that North Node energy. Now, of course, in balance, don't gorge yourself on whatever the pleasure is, but lean into it, sink into it, and feel that feeling. What does the fulfillment of pleasure feel like? Now, this energy for Monday and going onward is very interesting because on Tuesday we're going to have the Sun and Jupiter conjunct. When planets are conjunct, they enhance each other's energy, and the Sun and Jupiter are both massive in their ability to do this. So in the sign of Aries, or Aries in general, is just like exploding. It is huge, this energy. Every planet has its positive, every planet or sign has its positive, every sign has its negative. The positive of Aries is that it's the ability to dig in, go for it, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the readily availability to dive in and go for it. However, it can also be so easily frustrated and so easily riled up. Tuesday's astro is going to be really interesting because we're going to have Venus at 0 and we're going to have the Sun and Jupiter energy, which has luck with it, but we're going to have to watch the aggro because wowza, that energy is just really, it's popping off. It's very, very popping off, and it's like, it can be like a bonfire next to a forest that the wrong wind can just set it off. So be aware of that. We're going to be starting to feel those breezes on Monday. You may already be feeling those breezes, to be fair, but they're going to be hyping up on Monday. So take that time to ground in, tend to your inner volcanoes, and if you get the slightest hint of frustrations coming in, look at it, deal with it, be present with it. Spend the energy to nurture what you can, including those parts of yourself that get fired up. The rest of the week calms down a little bit from that fiery peak. But we are building to an eclipse. We have an eclipse coming in on the 19th, 20th, which is also in Aries and also brings that extreme Aries potential forest fire vibe, right? And so get a handle on that now and keep working through that, because Aries isn't done with us. Aries isn't done teaching us how to get our fire balanced. I also want to mention that over the last few days, Mercury went into its shadow period before retrograde. Mercury is going to go retrograde like the day after the eclipse. It's going retrograde the 21st. And so we're starting those lessons as well. So just keep that in the back of your mind, because technology might be like, I'm going to see if I can set it off. So watch out. Remember that Mercury likes to have mischief. Mercury is like a child that's like, what happens if I do this? So be aware of that. Keep that in the back of your pocket. Like, okay, Mercury, I see you up to those tricks. So for today, for Monday, we have the sun and the moon building to a trine. The moon is in Sagittarius, also lighting these fires as I'm hearing "Come on baby, light my fire" in the background. The Sagittarius energy is also just turning up the fire. Fire energy, it is inspirational, it is fun, it is creative, and like I said, it's ready to go off. It is not patient. So again, as this day goes on, you may find that. However, if you can feed your energy into something, ding, my phone just dinged in the other room. If you can feed that energy into something, that will support you. The moon and Jupiter will then be meeting. So the moon's lighting up this conjunction, getting ready for it. Great time to expand your mind, expand your horizons, and it may be a great time if there's been something that you've been wanting to shift out of. If there's been something that you've been wanting to do, this is a great time to actually kick that energy off. This isn't about being reckless, but it is like, I can do the thing. Somebody asked me today, so I've been vegetarian for almost 20 years. It's been a long time. And they asked me, like, how did you do it? And I didn't know it at the time that I did it in a manner that they use for AA, where I was like, okay, just for today, I'm not going to eat the meat. And this has served me. This is not everybody's path. This has served me. But when I faced it, I didn't know if I was ready or forever to say, I'm not going to eat this thing that, I've relied on my whole life. It just never felt right for me, right? So I took that step. I do believe it was actually in Aries season that I fully jumped in and was like, I'm not going to do this today. But this energy feels like that. It's like taking the step. We've got the Fool card. Take that step. And this could potentially be something that you've been stuck in that has breakthrough. The energy is like, can you trust yourself? Do you trust the universe to support you in this? Can you trust the net of the universe, right? And I feel like this has to do with Venus at 29, Taurus as well, 29 Taurus. Beyond the pleasure-seeking energy, it's also like, hey, what are your values? And are you taking all the known steps that you can at this time to align with them? Now, this might be the block, the shoulds, the way the world works, the morality. You're not really sure how. There is some of this blockade energy. And yet, this is old stinking thinking. There are new ways of thinking available for you. And that's the thing. It might be like, okay, I want to do this, but there's a few things I need to address. Hold space for that. Venus moving into Gemini late in the evening, I'll focus on that in tomorrow's scope, can help bring some bright new ideas or even create some new pathways, whether they're physical pathways or neural pathways, based on some of the changes we wanted to implement when Mars went through Gemini. So we'll look into that. The final card is the Abundance card, and this is Zorba the Buddha, staying balanced in the physical and the spiritual. But the balance is key. So watch yourself, even with a new idea. Maybe you don't have to take all those steps right at once, right? One by one, moment by moment, little incremental things. That's how we get there. So, this is probably winding down to your last chance to book an eclipse reading. Tripping over my words. Mercury is going retrograde. This happens to me during Mercury retrogrades. I trip over my words. So get used to it for the next little bit. If you emailed me and I have not emailed you back, you can message me, but I just needed a few days. I needed to sleep and feel some things. So I will be emailing you back, but you can always send me a reminder message. But this is probably winding down. We have about 10 days before the eclipse energy, our first eclipse. And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.